Jamacia was a comedian, and he was fun-loving. He had a big heart. He kept something going, kept you laughing, and he was an athlete. He was a good guy.
Yeah.
First time I just met Jamacia, I was in middle school, so of course they had basketball tournaments. So some of the guys from my basketball team, we went to the tournament at the high school. And I went to the concession stand, and Jamacia, he came behind me, he was like, "Hey, you Mike's little brother." And my brother went to high school with Jamacia. I had one more year before I got there. So I was like, yeah, I'm Mike's brother. He said, yeah, man, I had bought Mike some fries and a soda one time. He owed me. He told me that you would cover me since you already here. Just go ahead and buy me a soda and fries. I'm like, sure, no problem. So I bought him a soda and fries. Then I went back and sat down with my brother. And then he's like, I told him, I said, hey, I met your friend Jamacia, man. I finally met him. He's like, I said, but you have owed him. So I bought him some fries and a drink. He said, so y'all good now? My brother's like, I don't owe Jamacia nothing. He's like, how you let them get you? You're not even here. He said, you wanted to meet him? He said, that's Jamacia. So ever since then, man, it's like, he never really called me by James. He did sometimes, but I was Little Mike.
And he started playing football initially with the Park and Recreation Department of Sumter at Dillon Park, and then he went to Alice Drive, and he wanted to play in the 6th grade, but they wouldn't let him play, so he waited to 7th grade under Coach Wright, and he started, he played both sides of the ball. He played defense and offense at Alice Drive, and then when we got to the high school, Coach Tom Lewis at that time seen the potential for him as running back, so he played strictly running back. And in his junior year, that was the year that he ran for 66 touchdowns and almost 4,300 yards as a junior, and he broke the current great Sumter High alumni Freddie Solomon's rushing record in the 11th grade. And then he got in the 12th grade, and the coaching had a coaching change, and they put him on both sides of the ball, so that cut down on his opportunities to rush, for he was playing offense and defense, but he still ran over 1,500 yards and was only playing part-time.
The first time I watched Jamacia play, I remember I was in the 7th grade. It was a playoff game versus Gaffney, and they was on the 3-yard line back against the end zone, and he broke a 97-yard touchdown straight through the middle. So everything I always heard about him, it was like I saw it. It was so surreal, like no one could touch him. Like as a 7th grader, first year playing football, that was my first football start. Like, and then playing with him was just like, he was the perfect example of practice how you play. Practice, he was serious. Game time, he was serious. Even though he joked a lot, when it's time to hit the field, practice or a game, he was serious.
In my opinion now, he was one of Sumter High greats, you know. I bar none. I mean, we had some great ones come through, like Wally Richardson and Freddie Solomon and Cleveland. He had some great football players come out of Sumter, but he was right there with them, man.
Jamacia Jackson left a legacy at Sumter High where he showed that it's possible for one to get out of a small city like that in a more constructive way. And a lot of guys I've seen come behind him as running backs, yeah, they get close to him. But just in my mind, you say I'm biased, I feel like he's one of the greatest that ever come through Sumter High. In my era, at least. In my era. Everybody knew he was the life, the energy, he joked a lot. But once that first whistle went from warm-ups, calisthenics, to the last team rep, to the prayer at the end of practice, he was serious. He ran hard, he blocked hard, he tackled hard, all through practice. And then when Friday night came, time to put on a show, my first time being able to suit up with varsity, it was like he was in practice. No jokes, going hard. He ran like he did in practice. He was the true definition of practice like you play. And I was the type, when I first started playing football, I would practice to a certain extent. I felt like game night was important. Practice, you know, you can go 80, 85%. But after that 1 year, the couple games of playing with them, being in practice with them, I saw that I had to put as much effort as I put in the game in the practice, and it made you a better player. Everyone in our hometown in Sumter, they knew Jamacia. One thing I used to call him all the time, I used to say Sumter's finest, which he was and still is. You couldn't go anywhere, any high school, without knowing who Jamacia Jackson was. So, I mean, I really enjoy being able to be around him, become his friend, meet people around him, and because of him, like, I reached out and met so many people, whether it's NFL now, throughout college, just being around him, high school. He was just that guy that welcomed you in. So, yeah, one of Sumter's finest. That's all I can say.
I gotta say, at middle school, he just, well, even in Parks and Recreation, he was just athletic, and he always wanted to be the best now. He didn't want anybody to beat him. He had to be the best. And I remember him as a little boy sitting at the table drawing pictures of what everybody was going to be. His sister was going to be, at that time, an attorney, and his brother was going to be an engineer. But he always drew him as playing for San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
He was going to play, he was going to be an NFL player.
Yeah.
But, yeah, from the beginning, I thought he was, and it wasn't until high school that I realized what a good basketball player he was.
Yeah, yeah. He was an athlete, and then I asked him, I said, why are you playing soccer? And he's, well, Dad, soccer helps me to increase my windage and cutting ability on the football field. So him and his best friend, Todd Jeter, at that time was only 2 African Americans on Sumter High soccer team, and they enjoyed the soccer too, and he excelled in the soccer just as well as the basketball and football. And I didn't know he was that good in basketball.
Yeah.
Until one night we went to, we were kind of late, and they were playing the Airmo Yellow Jackets, and we got to the stadium, to the gymnasium, it was packed, so me and Cleo got to the front door, and I seen somebody streak down the court and got up in the air and whop, slam. I said, that Puddin', because Jamacia was nicknamed Puddin'. And since then, I said, man, he can play basketball too. But I didn't know he could play basketball well as he could play football. His Aunt Mary, when he was born, said, that's pudding, and it stuck. That's pudding, that's chocolate pudding.
You knew he was in the room. You knew he was in the house. He would come in and, hey! Like, boy, why you gotta be so loud? But that was just him.
Yeah. He'd give his shirt his bag too, Bradley. Yeah,
and give your shirt too.
And give your shirt too. Yeah, give your shirt. I come up here, I had a leather coat. I said, Puddin', where's my coat? Oh, you got so many coats. I gave that one to my friend. He didn't have none.
It was cold. He needed a jacket.
Yeah, he needed a jacket. So I gave him yours.
Yep.
Okay, man. All right.
Yeah.
At Sumter High, all the classes were inside. We had some portables outside. So me being a freshman, sometimes you ask for directions in the hall. You lost. It's a big high school. And I walked up on him. I was like, man, how do you get to D Hall? And he pointed to the doors to go outside. He's like, yeah, go out that door and just keep going. He said, USC, it's a building outside. So as I'm walking to the door, someone stopped me. And he's like, where you going? I was like, oh, Jamacia told me D Hall was outside. He said, man, don't let these seniors prank you. And I saw him like, man, we friends. How you gonna do that? He said, man, I gotta get everybody. He said, just because we friends don't mean you're not a freshman. So yeah, he always clowning around, man. You could expect it. Like, it was always a good time around him.
He was the disciplinary. I was the one that cushioned the blows. I remember we was living on 12 North Salem, and Jamacia had gotten into some trouble. he was like 15. So he's going to go upstairs with the belt. And I'm downstairs. And he, boom, 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 boom. And he came down and said, I'll kill Puddin'. Say, Puddin' gonna make you kill yourself. You're too big for a beating.
Yeah.
We put a drag sheet on him in high school.
In high school, a drag sheet now. A drag sheet was the teacher had to sign off.
Every day?
Every day. From the 9th to the 12th grade. Not because he was misbehaving, he not misbehaving, that's not the word I'm looking for.
Know what to do, he didn't do it.
He didn't do it, and he once Mr. Homecoming, Mr. Sumter High. He running all through the hall ducking because he didn't told this girl Miss Homecoming and this other one, and he didn't want to accept the award of Mr. Sumter High, and so we, you know what a drag sheet is.
He was not doing his work.
Mm-hmm.
So we had the parent-teachers conference.
Mm-hmm.
We was all sitting around the conference room table, and each teacher had the book. And they started naming 90, 99, 0, 80, 100, 0. And it was like, 0? Simply because he didn't turn it in. He didn't do anything. And when that last teacher said what she did, he was sitting next to Tom Lewis, and I'm sitting here. And Jamacia was across the table. When that last teacher read it off with them zeros, this one had them come up out of the chair. And Tom said, hold on, Red, hold on, because he was about to get beat down right there.
School.
But that was just
him. That was him.
He could do it. He was just such a cut up.
That was
so
him,
we
man.
had to put a drag sheet on him. So if you're gonna act like a child, we're gonna treat you like one.
Child, man. He was a hyper
Hallelujah,
child,
we got him through school.
Yeah. And let me tell you about the SAT, ACT. We you know, you had to have 820 minimum to go to Division I school, and so Jamacia had scored, I know he didn't apply, so scored 790. So we went to Lancaster to the head football coach wife, which was Roscoe, and we had a tutorial session all that day. We drove up to Lancaster and we left Jamacia at the house. And when we took the SAT again, Jamacia got 1310. After he retook it, because he didn't apply himself. From 790 to 1310. And so, you know, rest is history. So they, you know, he didn't have to have any tutorials getting into USC. So, and that was a blessing. So I knew that he could do it, but he just wouldn't apply himself at the time.
Jamacia loved to eat. He had a great appetite. But we would always have snacks, and we'd say, what you want, get your snack. He would have his, everybody else would have theirs. Jamacia would eat all his snacks and put the container back and then start eating everybody else's snacks. And we like, Puddin', how come you went into our snacks? You had yours. It was in the house. So they thought it was his. So, and the Kool-Aid, he loved Kool-Aid, but he would drink all the Kool-Aid.
That much in it.
And leave just a little bit, but that was just Jamacia. It's in the house.
I had an old 74 GMC Sierra truck, and I gave Puddin' my truck to go someplace. Matter of fact, one time we had 3 or 4 vehicles at the time, but that was the only one that was running, Bradley. He took the truck, and I don't know where him and Todd was going that night, but he didn't plow down all the signs on Broad Street. Then I don't know how he got on Ginyard at the new bridge that go across Ginyard, the tracks on Ginyard Drive, like you're going out towards Summerlin Manning. And I wouldn't have found out until he called me because the police had stopped him, and he didn't know where the registration was. What is that? Where the registration insurance card, right? And I keep it on the dashboard in the Bible, and I had to get out and leave the house and go down there because I couldn't tell them because I don't think we had cell phones then. I think somebody called, and so I went and I showed him, said registration in the Bible, so yeah, just look in the Bible, but he didn't know, right? And I said, what happened? I didn't see all them signs. He ran about 2 or 3 signs, then made it all the way on Ginyard Drive, and they finally stopped them for something. I don't know if a tail light was out, but I had to chastise them for that. But I look back on it, it was just a part of growing up, you know. You know how it is when y'all first get your license, you just want to ride everywhere. So that was so one of the stories I remember with that son of ours. Yeah.
Like I said, he was laughing. Yeah. He's probably laughing right now.
Yeah. Yes, he did. Yeah.
Basically couldn't drive a stick. You know, I had a little Ford Aspire, and he wanted to drive that car, but he didn't know how to drive it. That joker.
He learned.
He taught himself. He
scraped the clutch, but he learned how to drive. Yes.
But he was bound and determined he was going to learn to drive that car.
Yeah, he learned how to drive that stick.
We left we was going to something with the church, so we left him home one weekend. He was in high school playing football. And we got almost to Manning or somewhere, but we forgot something. Jackson, I got to go back. Turn around. We turned around and got back. They partying up in the house.
All the neighborhood.
I mean, it wasn't an hour good, I know.
They were waiting on us to go, waiting on us to leave. You got a house full of it. You don't get these people out this house. Yeah. Yeah, man, but he was
a mess, but he was our mess.
Yeah. Yes, he was. The Michigan State coach was came to Sumter High when Jamacia was a junior and told Jamacia, said, man, I'll give you a 4-year scholarship. No, you have to pay for nothing. No education, no room and board if you sign today. And, you know, like my wife said, we ain't really feeling Michigan because we from South Carolina. And it's cold in Michigan, man. But, yeah, so he came down and he recruited Jamacia at Sumter High.
And of course he got letters.
We got letters, yeah. We got letters from all over, man. Every major college almost, every major Division I college sent him a letter. It was December the 19th, 1999, and the current coach for South Carolina State, which is Buddy Pugh, and Lou Holtz came to our house. And so, you know, we didn't try to impress them, nothing. We let them come in and make this spiel. And
Lou wanted to see all his awards.
Yeah, Lou, all Shrine, because he won Most Valuable Player at the Shrine Bowl. Every week, Touchdown Club, he was Most Valuable Player. And our confirmation, now this is on the spiritual side, but Lou Holtz's wife was dealing with cancer. And since we were an integral part of the church, I told Clea, I said, no, we're not going to try to impress him, but we're going to pray for them because it was ice and raining that day, and he was going to see another recruiter at Hilton Head. And we didn't find out till 6 months later, but anyway, we prayed for him, so he left, and Jamacia, I think, made the decision to go to USC. But once they got down to Hilton Head, they left Lou Holtz in the other recruit's house. The plane crashed, the pilot died, and his wife got healed of cancer. Now, I'm not going to say that I got no relationship with God, that because of my prayer, he was healed and got saved, but that was my confirmation and my wife's confirmation that he made the right choice in going to USC. And I'm serious, it was surreal, but. And when we went to USC.
And when he had gotten to USC, it was another Sumter High School player there, Cleveland Pinckney, and kind of told him about how good it is that you're close and your parents and all can come see you play. And I think that was one of the other things that helped him to decide to go to USC, because he had offers, especially Michigan. I was not trying to go to Michigan,
No, me
you know,
either.
but we wanted to be there for him.
Yeah.
And to God be the glory, we was able to attend all of his games, home and away.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah. You know, his parents get to sit on the 50-yard line, but on the other side. But
Yeah.
it was still an experience. This was still an experience, and he was not saying that because he's our kid, but he was one of a kind. He knew where the bread and butter was. He didn't think that he was ball in a bag of chips, because I think he had a good upbringing, and we just say football is just an avenue to a better life, but don't get it twisted. I say now they come a dime a dozen, son. Say that this is a privilege and it's an honor. So you enjoy the ride, man, but don't think that you better than somebody else because you can play football. Because there's a lot of other people out there can excel in other things besides football, just as worthy of honor as you are. So he was, he took it in stride.
He was real humble. Like, everyone knew high school-wise, man, he was breaking every record. Star football player in the state. People were coming after him. But he never shunned anybody away. Man, you could hang with him, he would talk to everybody. He was real humble about it. Like, he knew who he was, he didn't have to act like it. So, I mean, anybody could approach him. He joked and laughed at everyone. He never let it get to his head, even in college. Like, he was the starter. He was a starting safety. Walked around, joked to everybody, talked to everybody. He never let it get to his head. So that was the best thing about it.
He played strong safety with Lou Holtz, because at that time...
What did Lou call him, a spur back or spur?
Yeah, spur. Yeah, it had a spur back. That's between the safety and the linebacker. He played that position. Then they switched the defense and he played strong safety. And matter of fact, a young lady was in here one Saturday and they were playing Vanderbilt. And she said, "I never seen your son play. He any good?" And at that time, the fellow, former Chicago Bears quarterback, what's his name? But he was a quarterback for Vanderbilt, and he threw in who?
Jake Cutler.
Jake Cutler. And Jake Cutler threw a pass and was playing safety. He intercepted it in the end zone and ran, 101 yards or 99 yards return.
It was 99, I think.
It's the third longest return in USC history. And then I told her later, I said, "There you go. He any good, eh?" And that was her answer, that was my answer to her. I said, "Yeah, he's something good."
After college, he got recruited by Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee Titans.
And he went, and
and
of course he was cut.
He was cut the round of 53.
But he took it in stride and he man up, and he went on to, at that time he was playing for the
Montreal Alouettes. Alouettes in Montreal. And they were #1 in that league, in the Canadian Football League. And then he got drafted by the Hamilton Tiger Cats, which is another team in Canadian Football League. And then at his demise, he was offered a contract in the NFL with Green Bay Packers, but we didn't know anything about the condition, man. And they called my wife that morning and said, "Jamacia, stop breathing." And so I was on my way to Columbia, and Cleo went down and called Pastor Weston, and I heard God tell me, "Don't get no ticket, don't get no accident. I already got him." And by the time I got back to the hospital, he was already gone at 26 or 25. 26 years old.
I got a phone call, and someone was asking me, have I talked to Jamacia? I was like, "Man, it's been a couple days." They said, "Man, try and call his phone. Nobody can get in contact with him." So I kept calling, no one would pick up. And then my cousin, which is the godbrother of him, of Jamacia, he's like, man, I'm hearing certain things, because he lived in Charlotte. He's like, I'm hearing certain things about Jamacia, man. Somebody need to contact someone in Sumter. So after contacting and trying to reach out, we found out that he passed. And for me, I think it was like 8 o'clock in the morning. And it was unreal, because I had just seen him not too long ago, just talked to him. And to see this guy that was so full of energy that you thought would be around for basically forever was gone.
As a child, we didn't know.
Yeah.
He had physicals, because of course you know they have to have physicals, but nothing to give us an indication that he had a heart condition.
Had heart condition. Say the arteries were reversed. I don't know, but I forgot the medical term for it. But the artery was taking the blood, was supposed to be bringing it, and vice versa, and he just stopped breathing. Cause he was out. He ran the 40 in 4.41, 4.43 or something. But anyway, he was fast, and he was kind of a large guy, because he was 6'2", 215, and but he was fast. And he was elusive on that football field. I remember him running that ball, man. My chest got that big. I said, "That's my son." Running like that, but yeah, he was one of a kind, man. He was one of a kind.
You guys have speak to him right now. What would you tell him?
Whatever he's doing, man, whatever area he finds his life in, excel, just be all that you can be, man, because life is temporary, we're not here to stay, so, and always think about somebody else, because anytime God gives you a platform or notoriety or whatever, man, I believe that you're supposed to give back, If you become a millionaire, Bradley, God, I hope you do. You have to always reach back, man, because the only way you keep what you got to give it away. And that's what I would tell him, man. I tell him, just continue to be you, man. Continue to be you. You didn't try to put on airs, like you said, or let it go to his head, And, what would you tell him, baby?
What I always told them when they left home, behave.
Yeah, behave.
Behave.
Behave. You know whose name you carrying out there, boy. Don't you go out there acting up. Don't you
We
go.
love you.
Yeah, we love you. You always can come home. Always can come home. Yeah.
Always, regardless of what, remember who and whose you are. And I've always told all of the children, you have 3 choices. You go to school, you go to work, or you go to the military. But you will not be a bum in the street. So
you ain't staying here
take
either.
your pick.
You got that right.
So
You got 3 choices.
we will help you as long as you help yourself.
Yeah. You
We
gotta
are
have some
always there for
motivation.
you.
Gotta have some motivation, man. He was a good one. He was a good one. He was our baby child. Our baby child, man. And we just thank God for the 25, 26 years that he allowed us to share with him. Yeah.
It's been 10 years and you still miss him.
Yeah,
You still miss him.
we have our days. We still miss him. Yeah.
He was in Canada, and I'd be walking through the plant. My phone would go off, and he'd be calling me with something crazy. I said, boy, I'm at work. I need you. I said, boy. And I still, till this day, and I know he's in glory, but my phone will go off and I'm in the plant. It's just that quick second you think about it. But he was a mess, but we miss him.
Yeah, he was. But I think that, him playing football really, made him well-rounded. That was his forte, and especially going to the University of South Carolina, man. It was close to home, but further enough away that we wasn't there every day, you know. And he grew up, man. He grew up. He became a responsible young man to make any parent proud, you know. He handled his own. He handled his own. Yeah. You know, like my wife said, we still have our days, you know, because it's a memory, you know, something to click, and I'll think about them, you know, and I'd go and get in my quiet space, but the moment it passed, you know, like I said, we just thank God for having them. We thank God for having them. Yes, we do. And we still got 2 other kids and 3 grandkids, but Jamacia was one of them. He was one of them.